Ooh, happy 4th of July, my American friends. Happy 4th of July. I don't know how many of you are celebrating, but celebrate. And why do we celebrate? Because we know the law. Y'all, we know the principles. So let's do it. That's why we celebrate. He's in my room today. Um, because he's bugging a lady and she's busy trying to hatch that egg. And so he bit me because I separated them. Ugh. But you know what? Let's do it. Listen, we're going into the weekend, and it is just one of those things. I remember somebody asked the question, I think it was on Reddit, how you can go back to separation consciousness. And I'm like, dude, we can go back to that at any time. It's just another state. It's just another mood. But the key is to catch yourself and correct the self. You see, this is why I say when we let's do it, when we do it, that's what we're doing. None of us are impervious to slipping backwards into old habits. There's a saying I learned when I was growing up. Old habits die hard. They die hard because they're ingrained in your brain. Only Alzheimer's can remove them, right? So none of us are impervious to falling backwards into an old habit. All one needs is a moment of relaxation, and bam, there it is. So even in our state of relaxation, one must always be vigilant, not to judge, but to catch. You set the guard at the gate. You tell yourself what you'll be doing so that when you don't, you're like, oh, it was interesting. I'm waiting for him. Did you stop now? My boss was saying a number to me. And as he was saying the number 4, he wrote 5. And I was like, oh. And he said, wait, I just wrote 5. Ever vigilant. This is why sometimes when you speak out loud, you hear. Oh, ho, ho. See, when you speak out loud, you hear. What do you hear? You hear what you're doing. He said 4, but his hand wrote 5. And I think, here's an opinion, I think if he wasn't speaking out loud, he wouldn't have caught it. You see, because you are hearing, all your senses are there right now. You're hearing, but there's touch. So you're like, oh, wait, I did something. And you correct yourself. So you see, when I say let's do it, this is what I'm talking about. Right? You catch yourself without judgment. Okay? Without judgment. Because without judgment would be the silent part. And then you don't miss. Right? So without judgment, you don't miss anything. But with the judgment, you do. Because now it's loud inside your head with the judgment. See? This is what I love. So when I tell you that the principles are so freeing, and I saw a young lady in these YouTube streets talking about she doesn't believe in manifestation. It doesn't work. And I often wondered why she felt so strongly. And then I clued in yesterday because I saw one of her clips where she said she used to do manifestation. And I said, I understand now why the lady doth protest so much. You see, manifestation is billed as some kind of a fad, when in actuality, all we do is manifest all day. All we do is manifest. Manifestation, as I've told you before, because this is why it's important. Without seeing the evidence of what you are doing, it is not necessarily, I don't want to say possible. What's the word I want to use? It's it makes it challenging to make a change in your life, whether to continue or to change course. You must always see the evidence of what you are doing in your life. That is manifestation. Not some, ooh, I want a brand new house. Ooh, I want a brand new car. I need me a man. I need me a woman. It's not about that. Those things show you who and what you are at all times. If there was no manifestation, or if manifestation wasn't real, you would not see anything on the outside. Let me explain. I have this little itty bitty strawberry patch outside. Oh, my word. They are the smallest strawberries I've ever seen, right? Which I think are the natural way, but they're so cute and they're so sweet. A little bit loves them. So does Lady. How do I know what I just picked? Yeah, we named things, right? We named things. And why did we name them? So we can identify what we are dealing with. So why must you always identify what you're dealing with? So you know what choice to make. So you see, manifestation is not some fad, not some ooh, but what people can't get their head around is that their mood creates their reality. Now, if we were talking, let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Now, if we were talking about that, we would understand that the mood will dictate your behavior, right? You and I know this. The mood is what dictates the behavior. When you get into the mood for, you know, a good time, when you get into the mood, what does your body do? Your body responds. Now, if you're a boy, it's going to respond in a particular way. If you're a girl, it's going to respond in another way, right? But the key here is it responds. Now, did you do something? Did you do something? All you did was get into the mood. And your body said, oh, we in the mood for this. And because remember the principle of cause and effect, because you are in that mood, you have to perform those things. It is the same for any hunger. Ooh, I could use a piece of meatloaf now. You're in the mood for meatloaf. Once you're in the mood to eat, that's what you do. The mood always dictates. And so people ask, well, what about my health? The mood always dictates. When you go to the doctor, right? And the doctor says, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. You want to reach across that table and you want to put your hands around his neck and just squeeze. Because he said to you, it is all in your head. Listen, that's the best thing he could have ever done. But you see, why we do not grasp that is because we think, or rather, I should say, we believe, we've been conditioned to believe, that there was an external component. When in actuality, there is no external component, as within, so without. And people say, well, I didn't bring that on myself. Not the specific thing. But you see the mood? A persistent mood will bring about the thing that matches it. For instance, I remember one of the one of the things that freaks people out is if I can tell that they're constipated or not. They're like, okay, what kind of voodoo? I'm like, it's not voodoo. The principle of as above, so below. There's an acupuncture point, triple burner 6. And if you massage it and it feels, cool, like there's nothing there, yeah, you're good. That acupuncture point opens the lower orifices. Okay? That's what it's called. It opens the lower orifices. So if you touch it and it's hard, as above, so below. And I'm like, wait, are you constipated? They're like, oh my God, how did you know? I was like, it's right here on your hand. They're like, what? That's not possible. And then I talk to them some more and I find out that they're stressed out. They're worried, they're fretting. Okay, you see, the blockage is up above in the head. You're just got all these thoughts going around. There's no relaxation. There's tension. As above, so below. If there's tension above, there will be tension in the bowel. It is all connected. Go right back to what I told you. If you are in the mood for a little bit of Barry White, you're in the mood for a little bit of Marvin Gaye. Mm, you know, if you are in the mood, the body responds to the mood that you are in. So let's do it. When you are out and about this weekend, and you know it's fireworks and the tailgating in the backyard shenanigans, and it's a long weekend, it's a get together, it's a have fun kind of time. That's the mood you're in. So because you are in that mood, that carefree, devil may care mood, your behavior will match every single time. And if you pay attention to yourself, you will see that your mood dictates your behavior, thereby dictating your life. So you see, it's not that manifestation isn't real. Everything is a manifestation. You get on a plane, what is there? A manifest that does what? Shows you what passengers are aboard. You get on a ship. What is there? He can pull up that list and he can read it to tell you who is on board. You order a package. There will be a packing slip on the inside so that you can see, did I get what I ordered? You must always see the contents of your inner self. That is what manifestation is. So the way you feel about the job. I would tell you a story, but I don't know who listens. I'm going to try and tell it in a discreet fashion. So, allegedly, there was this man, and he hated his job. Okay. So much so that he was like, I don't really want to be here. He would complain. Now, he didn't always complain on the outside, but he complained all the time. And you know, a funny thing happened. He was putting away something and he fell off the ladder. It hurt something. Not like real bad, but because it wasn't that far. But nonetheless, he injured himself. And so then somebody came and talked to him and blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And long story short, he got mad and left. Now, if you are on the outside looking in, it just looks like, accidents happen, he fell, and blah, blah, blah. What no one saw was the inner, which was, I hate this place. I can't take it no more. Right? That was what it was, which then caused him to fall from the ladder. So, see, some would stretch. That's a reach. It is an, and we all do it. I read places where people, I loved her so much I missed all the red flags. You didn't miss the red flags. You were in a particular mental mood that caused you to choose the person that you're with. So while we're out here this long, glorious weekend on July the 4th, remember yourself. All you got to do is check the mood. Just check the mood. You don't have to do any fancy footwork. You don't have to do any fancy rituals. Just check the mood. Check the mood. My father's always been a jovial man. You know, he laughs easily. He's always been that way as long as I've known him. And people always say to him, my word, but you look so young. Because he is young at heart, as within, so without. That reminds me, I got to call my daddy today. He's been on my mind. You've been on my mind. I go fonder let me stop before Adele comes for me. Listen, as within, so without. If you walk around with a face like you're sucking on lemons, you're gonna. What do they tell you? It it uses what? 30 some odd muscles to frown and only 17 to smile. Well, hello? I'll choose laughter every day. I'll take laugh lines over frown lines any day. You understand? But it's not, I got frown. Why are you frowning? The mood that you are in has you frowning, darling. So what you gonna do? Change the mood. You change the mood, you change the outcome. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to believe me because you don't know me. A little bit of your. Of course he's okay. Sorry, y'all. But it doesn't it does not benefit us to not observe ourselves. When you observe the self, when you watch what you're doing, and the way to watch what you're doing is to watch your mood. Ah, my ears. That means your ears. Discord has a beautiful feature. It cancels out external noise. Isn't that fanciful? But you know what? Let that boy sing. He'll stop in a moment. World on glorious 4th of July. Now, some of you may say, what's glorious about it? You're here. That's the reason. Oh. Yeah, but, I did that. I had to catch myself. I was saying, yep. So you see, it may, it may appear, right, that things have gone to pot. But I keep telling you, that mood is real important. That mood is real important, as within, so without. So As long as you check the mood, like I said, you don't have to do anything fancy. You don't got to be dancing naked in the moonlight unless you want to. You don't have to do any rituals. You don't have to do anything of the sort other than what mood am I in? Because when you see the mood that you are in, that's right, you can figure out the behavior a little bit. And I know what mood you're in. You're in the mood to face the day, handsome. You're ready for the day. And listen, it is absolutely amazing when you catch yourself. Yes. And you know, when you remember the principle of rhythm, yeah? The principle of rhythm tells us there's an ebb and there is a flow. A man came to the till last night, and listen, we had flash rain. It just came down hard and fast. He's with his girlfriend, and she says, "Oh my God, it's raining." And he's like, "Babe, it'll pass." Of course it'll pass. It can't rain all day. Even in the Bible, it rained 40 days and 40 nights, and it had to come to an end. So, whatever that thing is in that mood that you're walking with, the mood is there, and then you go to another. The practice is habitually going to a particular mood that you know you want to be in. That's the quote unquote secret. Deliberately choosing the mood over and over and over because you change. They do not remain, they change, and we're constantly in and out of them. That's why I said earlier, none of us are impervious to falling into one. Any mood can catch us at any time. Yeah, I know, right? Any mood can catch us at any time. Where you and I get to be powerful is when we discern which mood we're in. And then we deliberately decide, yes, this mood is appropriate for where I want to be, or no, this mood is inappropriate. Let me adjust. See? Because when you catch the mood, as I've told you this whole week, that's right, catch that mood because it will show you why you make the choices that you make. The choices you make are not random or willy-nilly. So let's do it. Aw, what's her name? Her name is Amanda, I believe. I don't even see her channel anymore, to be honest. But I know it's there. She's I call her a fashion guru, right? She names her belts and she puts these outfits together. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And she always says, let's do it. Right? So we got to give her a shout out. And so when we do these things, this is where the fun comes in. This is where the fun for living comes in. You see, when you know the principles and you apply them, you can look at any situation when scripture tells you count it all joy. Why would you count it all joy? Because you know where it's coming from. And because you know, well, then you can change. So then you don't get this, oh, I feel so. No, 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 no. You catch it and you say, wait a minute. I can change. I can change my mood. And long enough till it becomes a habitual. You know the outcome. The specific, put it this way, a good mood brings good things, right? A bad mood brings bad things. You know what kind of mood I'm talking about. You're walking around, your shoulders are tight, your fists are tight, and you're angry because you woke up and you chose violence, right? You woke up chewing on nails, right? You can determine what kind of day you're going to have from there because you know, because look at how you look at your mood. You know exactly the kind of day you're going to have. You do not know who you're going to meet to match that mood or what you'll encounter to match that mood, but you know whatever you encounter will match it. So the same thing goes for the other side. If you're feeling a little giddy, ooh, it's exciting. Well, then that's the mood. Those are the kinds of experiences you will experience, right? So you don't know the exact thing that's going to happen, but you do know whatever is going to happen, they'll match that mood. So you see, give yourself some grace, give yourself some understanding. What I need from you is understanding, right? Give yourself some understanding. Why? Because this too shall pass, my beautiful friends. And besides, that mood, that mood, hello. And our Stampede Parade starts today. Yahoo! If you've never experienced the Calgary Stampede, well, then, it's all things country and rodeo and chuck wagon racing and a whole bunch of things along that line. All things, like a midway and rides and deep fried foods and a lot of hot sun. Thanks, but I'll pass. And a lot of crowds in a beer garden. It's 5 o'clock right now. They didn't tell you when to start drinking. They just said it's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? It's Stampede. And so there'll be a lot of fun to have. Really, right? So for us 4th of Julyers, well, y'all 4th of Julyers, it doesn't matter what you think about your government. Why not? Because the government reflects the people. Oh, sorry. Those are bunions and they're sensitive and I just stepped on them. I'm sorry. But you know what makes everything change? Each individual changes so that the next time you make a choice, it reflects who you really are. Ah, don't hate your reflection. Your reflection was either you chose or you harbored animosity. Either way, everybody was focused on the same thing. The ones who were like, no, we can't have that, or yes, we'll take it. You're both focused on the same thing. So you're going to get the same outcome. See? That's because we think we're dealing with opposites. We think we're dealing with duality. There is no duality. Left wing, right wing, one bird. There's no duality. There's only one thing. And that one thing is your mood. So today, when you go out into the world, let me tell you something, Linda. When you get out there, choose your mood. You don't have to be excessive with anything. Because remember, rhythm compensates. What's it mean? The intensity with which you feel is the level of intensity of the experience. In other words, what you put in, you get out. Well, that's funny, Angela. That sounds like the principle of correspondence. Because it is. So let's go all the way back to all of the people out here in the world who talk about manifestation isn't real. Manifestation is real. Oh, manifestation is real. Why? Because you must always see the contents of what is held within. You're not going to squeeze an orange and get passion fruit juice out. So the manifestation of the orange would be the orange juice. As within, so without. It just means to see that which is within. Manifest. To show. So if you're looking at your life and you're seeing a certain thing, a certain path, Count yourself fortunate that you can see it because now you know exactly what is within you. And it is not a judgment, it is not a reprimand. Oh, that's you're saying you're gaslit. No, I'm telling you, check the mental mood, check the mental attitude, and you will see the experience on the outside that matches. There's no greater freedom than that. Because now you're not in the dark. You just turn the light on in your own life so that you no longer have to stumble around to figure anything out. But you know what? I'm done. Fan base, who's kicking it with us today? KZ, hey sweetie. Miss McQueen, my lovely darling. Summer Rose. Listen, let me tell you a little something. Ray Ray. Beloved Love Troll, I see you. And there's one person. I only opened up YouTube today. There's two people in these YouTube streets. Listen, when someone brings something to your attention, it was brought to my attention yesterday. I'm not going to call your name, but you know who you are. Thank you. I am very grateful for that because it was interesting because I did something yesterday. I was talking to a young lady who came through my till, young mom, sweetest little boy. And I don't even know how we got on the topic. I think her son was the same age my son was when I was in student clinic. And I had to take him with me to student clinic because I didn't have another alternative. She goes, you took him with you? She goes, that's amazing. She goes, I haven't even thought about school because he's so young. And she's like, and you took him to school? She goes, you get to pat yourself on the back. And I was like, what else was I gonna do? Because I'm looking at it like, that's my only option. I gotta take him to student clinic with me so that I can accomplish what I set out to do so that him and I can have a good life with my education. She says, but that was so hard. She goes, I can't even think about taking him somewhere like that. And then she proceeded to tell me, I worked in my job for 3 years and finally I moved up to a position where now we can be better. And I said, but you did the exact same thing. You were singularly focused on the betterment of you and your child. You just took a different route from me, Americans, route. You just took a different route, a different pathway. But we had the same goal. We just did it in the space that we did it in. Mine was school, yours was work. She goes, but he was at daycare. I pick him up from daycare. You took him with you. All right, a little bit. I'm almost done. Hang on. I'll feed you. And the reason I said that is she said to me, yeah, but what you did was harder and it's more commendable. And somebody said to me yesterday, Angela, you're doing the work, but you just don't see it as work. And I stopped and I looked and I said, wait a minute. I am doing it. You're right. I am. I was like, oh my God, I am doing I am doing it. But to me, it is such I don't see it as work because it is such a beautiful thing to do. It is a privilege, right? So thank you. Thank you, my beautiful friend, for showing me that yesterday. And again, somebody confirmed it, a total stranger on the other side of the world from you. And she said the same thing. What a coincidence, you would say. Why? Why did it happen on the outside? Because it stuck with me all day. That so much so that it was on my heart. And I was like, I wonder what else I'm doing. That I'm actually doing the work. And I just don't see it. Huh. And that's something. That's what I was saying to myself yesterday. And then this young lady comes to my till to confirm. So you see, my beautiful friends, When you are led to speak, do so, because you do not know the far reaching impact of it. Now, let me clarify that with something. That does not give one license to go up to somebody and go, "Oh, you look fat in them pants." That's not what I'm talking about. Jesus. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when spirit moves you, when that mood overtakes you to bring light and joy to someone's life, not insult and criticism. You understand where I'm coming from? Yes, I know you do. So, anywho, thank you for that. Because you're here. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it so very much. And the reason I'm not calling your names is because I don't know if you'd be comfortable with it. So, and I didn't ask permission. So I can't do it just yet. Can't say it. But just know that it stuck with me and showed me something. Manifested. It manifested in my outward. So thank you for that light and that wisdom that you gave to me yesterday. So anyhow, go forth this beautiful 4th of July. And if you are in the US of A, party hard and love your neighbor as yourself. Because your neighbor is you. Ow. And wherever you are in the rest of the world, apply the principles. That's right. Use the principles a little bit. That's what you tell them. Use the principles and change your life. Yes? Oh, my, but I do love you. Anywho, I do love you. Oh, beloved love troll. I love you very much, darling. So, anywho, countdown initiated. 4, 3, 2, 1. See, our brother helped me out with his gangster lean. He's so cute. Let's hope he doesn't bite me this morning. He was mad with me yesterday because he's in the same space as Lady, but she's on the egg, and he's trying to, you know, he's trying to get a little comfortable with Lady, but I don't want them to break the egg. So I separated them and I picked him up and I'm holding him like I always hold him, and he bit me on the shoulder. I said, "Ow," because he was mad. And I was like, "You little rascal," you know, because and people would say, "Well, he bit you." I'm like, "Yes, but why?" It is not in his temperament to bite, but because he was being moved from where he wanted to be. He wanted to be with his girl. He will sit there for hours and just stare at her. It is hilarious. But that's what he'll do. Sit there and just stare at her. And I will sit there and stare at them because it's cute, you know? And so those things I told you yesterday, those are things I recall whenever whenever I want to change my mood, right? So anyway, my beautiful friends, let us go forth today and from the very depth of your being, choose a mood that you are willing to serve. You see, scripture tells you, choose this day whom you will serve. And you see, we misinterpret that and we think it's talking about God or the devil. That's what we think it means. But when in actuality, it means the mood. Because the mood will compel you to act. So choose the mood that you can submit to without quarrel. Oh, yes. Because we know how it feels to go, "Oh, I don't want to do this." But if you choose the mood, you'll do it without a problem. Oh. You see, you never have to apply force, you know. Just choose the right mood is what Lil Bit just said. And then you never have to force anything to happen. Just choose the mood that accommodates the situation you want to be in. And then you're never forced or coerced, are you? Nope. You just flow with effortless ease. Anywho, I do love you. And we already did the countdown. So I will see you Monday, right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, fan base. And we'll kick it together. Remember, if you have a topic that you want to cover, that you have more questions about, slide into your girl's DMs. Use my link tree. Send me an email and say, hey, Angela, what about dot, 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 this subject? I've been hearing a lot about it. Do you care to elaborate? Let me know and I will help you out. Okay? And if you feel like subscribing, go ahead and do so. If you feel like starting a membership for 99 cents a month, do so if you feel like it, if the mood moves you. Yes? You want to give me a shout out? If the mood moves you, do you? Yes? All right, y'all. I love you. I love you. Anyway, I gotta go feed my chickens. Oh, I could stay with you forever because parting really is such a sweet sorrow. But I will get to work. You see? You see what he says? He's like, let's go. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you. Peace out, everybody. Peace out.